So, spawning up in the top left-hand position. Spawning as the teal Zerg player representing my insanity. None other than DaNa. And his opponent, to the bottom left, the purple Zerg from Vega Squadron, it's LiveZerg. So, both of these two have taken a game off the other. That means things start getting pretty tense now, because whoever wins this game wins the best of 3 and gives their team a point in this 5-game clan war. Jack G able to give my insanity their first point, which is always very promising. And now, of course, DaNa are going to want to get that into a solid lead where they're going to be very comfortable moving forward. For the moment, though, Overlord, it's going to be just scouting across the map. Of course, they know where the other one's spawning because there's only 2 spawn positions on heavy rain. The next thing they're going to be looking for is whether natural bases have been taken. Game number 1, Polar Night, we saw LiveZerg go for a temple into some quick gas, following up into some great baneling pressure. He won the game really fast. Game number 2, slightly different. Both players opting to go for a 15 hatch. This game, though, some variation. DaNa going to be choosing to get down a pool first, meanwhile LiveZerg feeling comfortable going for a 15 hatch. So clearly DaNa just wanting to be a bit more careful and a bit more cautious than previously, trying to make sure that no unwanted Zerglings or Banelings are going to ruin his day, and ruin obviously his chance to give my insanity a 2-0 lead in this clan war. Gonna go and expand though off the back of it after starting up the gas. Now the fact, oh sorry, not starting up the gas. This just means that in terms of tech timings and stuff like that, the second hatchery down fractionally sooner for LiveZerg, but the first queen going to be out a lot quicker for DaNa. That means an earlier inject, more lava a little bit sooner, and so economically it works out relatively similar. The bigger difference is the fact that this extractor quite a bit sooner for LiveZerg compared to DaNa, which means that he will be able to get out speed and other tech a bit sooner. But that's all been seen by DaNa at the moment. He sees the spawning pool not yet done, knows it's a hatch first, even without going over there, so just repositions the Overlord back to see anything that comes out, just as LiveZerg's done over at DaNa's side of the map. So, everything is looking fairly safe, fairly steady, to be going into a bit of a longer ZvZ like we saw in game number 2. That makes me very happy. I like longer ZvZs. Muta on Muta fights aren't to everyone's taste, but I think that they're so controlled and there's lots of little subtle things that can make a big difference to how they turn out. So definitely very exciting to see all of this going down. For the moment, DaNa just happily droning, getting speed coming down on LiveZerg's side. DaNa should be starting up speed shortly as he approaches that 100 Vespian mark. Not going to take too long to get that down. We've got, of course, a couple of drones getting out. Just 2 lings, pair of them coming across the map. Meanwhile for LiveZerg, starting up the Baneling nest, but not really much in the way of Zergling production. 4 lings going to be coming out. That's a good defensive force. No Baneling nest for DaNa is going to be a little bit annoying if there was a lot of Zergling Baneling pressure coming in. But if you recall to game number 2, DaNa opted to get an evolution chamber down and the +1 carapace upgrade. Not going to be doing that this game though, instead going for the more traditional Baneling nest just to have that Zergling Baneling phase available should it be needed in order to duke it out in that ever intense micro war. So, Zerglings just going to be trying to poke through here, but to be honest, with LiveZerg having a spine and a queen there, not going to actually see very much. Doesn't get up into the main, doesn't know if there's anything sitting there for the moment. But it's all good. We've got a Spine Caller coming out on DaNa's side as well. Both players being relatively passive, both sitting on 1 gas. Lair starting for both simultaneously, basically. And then it's just going to be the ramp up to some additional gases. DaNa getting slightly more gas slightly sooner, but it's minor differences, really small, and should result in them both getting a similar number of Overlords, or a similar number of Mutalisks out if they do go Muta. So, quick little run by there, an attempt to get some scouting. DaNa now going up to all 4 gases, so is LiveZerg. Most likely to see that Muta on Muta mid-game, just as we saw in game number 2. Once more, considering the sort of opening that both of these 2 players are going for. Whenever you see all of these gases, you can assume that it's going to be Mutalisks. It is still the most common playstyle in the metagame. You can see Roach Hydra. Infesta, it is possible, it can work. I cast a game over the weekend where we saw that quite frequently, but yeah, most players will opt for Zergling Bailing Noodles in ZvZ. It's very dynamic, it's very multitasking heavy, there's lots of harassment potential, and a lot of it revolves around this, where we're getting now the third base that's going to be coming down. Both players going to be looking to get their spies, but the third slightly sooner for DaNa at the moment. LiveZerg can of course scout that with his Overlord. Now in game number 2, LiveZerg was able to deny that third of DaNa, force a cancel. Unfortunately, his own third didn't work out too well because he wasn't able to mine the gas from it for a long time. So the benefit of having that third was really only the production. So, are we going to see the same again? Well, a good number of Lings are coming across the map. The difference being DaNa sees them coming this time and has Banelings. Without doubt, that will really help defend this, getting the Banelings down nice and early. But Banelings from LiveZerg are coming out at the same time. So, a couple of detonations could go down. That's an alright detonation. Nearly a very big one, the manual detonation. Not quite going down in time. Few Banelings about to morph in there for LiveZerg. DaNa needs to be careful. Pulls back, all looking good. Spires, pretty similar timing on both sides, so that should result in the muta count being relatively similar. The gas count is for sure. Spinecaller just trying to poke away here. Just get a couple of Banelings down. One managing to fall so far. Needs to try and get at least only one Baneling there, so no drones die, but still quite tense. We've got DaNa now moving around with some Lings. A couple of Baneling detonations go down, but for the most part, LiveZerg has retreated. Drone counts equal on both sides. The Mutalisk starting in production for DaNa now. Both players getting the +1 carapace, and I'm glad to see they're getting that at the same time, because game number 2, we saw DaNa get that +1 carapace out miles sooner, and then subsequently got the +1 attack upgrade sooner, which allowed him to win that muta on muta fight so easily. Even though the muta count was the same, having 1-1 up against 0-1 is a huge difference. So for the moment, LiveZerg just running around with a couple of Banelings. We'll get a few drones there. 3 drone kills were able to be achieved. Meanwhile, LiveZerg just being quite proactive with his speedlings on the map. Going to try and take a little peek to see what is going on. Meanwhile, obviously, Overlord's going to start getting picked off. First Mutalisks out for both players, but only one down at the moment for LiveZerg as he starts them slightly later than his opponent. Not the end of the world though. A couple of Lings going up against each other. That trade will be better for DaNa because he had the Mutalisks there. But a small supply block for LiveZerg. Gonna be a little frustrating. Not gonna be too long as 7 more Overlords are in production. But still, anything like that will hurt. And ooh, this is quite a nice trade. There's more Mutalisks by a lot for DaNa here. Bit of miscontrol here from LiveZerg. Loses a couple of mutas, and that may not seem like the end of the world. But it's now 11 up against 6. More mutas coming out for LiveZerg shortly. A few drones trying to get taken out. The important thing is that the Queen goes down though. That allows DaNa to really stump production from this third base. 1 less inject, 4 less lava every 40 seconds, and drones going down too. LiveZerg looking to be in a little bit of a problem. Going to lose another Overlord here. Won't supply block him, but of course there's damage being done that isn't being replicated on the other side. DaNa now pulling back of 14 to 15 Mutalisks, but that number should go in DaNa's favour because LiveZerg lost a couple of Mutalisks himself. So this is where things start getting tense. The upgrades are 0-1 on both sides for the Mutalisk, so it's going to come down to who has more and also who has Zerglings underneath any fight there to soak up the bounces. DaNa currently 2 Mutalisks up, but the defender's advantage is there. Any snipe-offs like we saw there will definitely help the fight. Good focus fire coming down from DaNa. He's able to really force LiveZerg's muta count down. You can see that obviously it's exponential. The more Mutalisks you lose, the faster you start losing them because of those bounces. There's a critical mass needed in muta on muta fights, and DaNa has achieved it, whereas unfortunately LiveZerg hasn't. DaNa pushing forward. GG's called, and DaNa will take this series 2-1, and therefore gives my Insanity a 2-0 lead in this clan war.